Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to the Entitled Asshole Report, where I report on cases of entitlement that I stumble across online. Today I have 3 cases of entitlement that I found that I'm going to be discussing, starting with the smallest scale case of entitlement that's like, I came across it and I'm like, yeah, you're kind of entitled, but it's not really that incredibly deep, and then moving to the biggest case of entitlement that I've stumbled across. All of these aren't really related to each other and don't really correspond. They're just cases that I've found that I'm going to report on. Let's get started. So this first case of entitlement features a mom and a shopping cart, which I don't know how several of my cases of entitlement, I don't know how I end up finding these entitled moms with shopping carts. I do just want to say once again, I'm not trying to bash motherhood or parenthood in any way, and I'm not trying to dismiss the struggles that come with being a parent. I'm obviously not a parent, so I'm not trying to discredit anybody for any of that. However, I do not think having a child just gives you a free pass to be entitled and do whatever you want. Because a lot of people in the world have children, and in most cases, it's a choice that you make, so you kind of have to adjust to life with the child. And you can't whine when things don't always 100% go your way. But also, as always, these videos are based off of my opinion and my perspective of things. So if you don't agree with me, whatever. And also, of course, please don't send any hate towards the creators of these. A lot of them are already getting it anyways, but I'm not trying to spark more hatred towards these people. I'm simply just reporting on entitlement that I see. But if you're going to post something publicly online where people can judge it, I am going to judge it. So this post was by a small TikToker named Brittany, whose videos weren't really getting a lot of views except this particular one. The video featured a picture of her 2 twin daughters sitting in a shopping cart, and the text on screen said, "I don't judge you for leaving your cart in the parking lot. Sincerely, a twin mama with babies that aren't walking yet." And then the caption read, "And I'm 100% not leaving my girls in the car to return a buggy." And obviously this sparked a debate in the comments of people calling out Brittany for being inconsiderate and talking about how rude this is on so many different levels. First of all, it's more work for the employees who have to return the carts and put them away. It can be a hassle for other shoppers who might want to park somewhere, but then there's a cart blocking the spot. And it also can be a safety hazard if there happens to be a rogue cart rolling around. It could damage cars or, be an inconvenience for workers and other people in the lot. With that being said, I do want to say, obviously, I do think people should return the carts to the stalls, but obviously I don't think that this is the biggest offense. As I said, this is the smallest scale case of entitlement, and obviously there's far worse things that parents could be doing than not returning a cart to the stall. But I do still think it's entitled to, post about it online, how you're not taking the extra effort to return the cart. Especially whenever I've gone shopping, I've never had an issue parking relatively close to the cart stall. Maybe I'm not always right next to it, but it's always within my eyesight of the car, and it's never that far of a trek. Obviously we're not telling this woman to carry her 2 twin girls miles away to put a cart back. We're just simply saying it'd be better if you just walked across the parking lot a tiny bit to return the cart. One person called her out in the comments by saying, "I'm inconsiderate and only think about myself, and I'm teaching my daughters to do the same." And Brittany felt the need to respond to this, saying, "And you're a bully." Oh, you really got her there. I don't know why she's trying to spin it around and play this huge victim. Was she genuinely sitting behind her phone thinking she ate with the responses she was delivering? I don't understand. Also, I don't understand why people seem to think that they have to leave their kids in the car in order to return the shopping cart. You can pull the cart up to the car, unload the stuff into the trunk or the back seat or wherever, push your kids in the cart back to the cart corral, which shouldn't be that far away, and then carry the kids back to your car and put them in there. For the parents who do think it's easier to put their kids in the car first and then go return to the cart corral if it's right there, by all means, you do you do what works for you. but you don't have to leave the kids in the car in order to return it. You can push the kids in the cart and then carry them back. And she tries to justify it by saying like her twins can't walk, and like, okay, but you still somehow manage them the rest of the time without a cart. One commenter even said something like, how did you get to the cart in the first place? Did you have to leave them in the car to bring it, or did you take them out and take them to the cart? Plot hole. Exactly. If you can do it one way, you can do it the other way. Also, I know that Brittany was definitely feeling like a boss-ass bitch, thinking she was so cool for making these posts, because she kept responding to comments. One person commented, Trump voter twin mama vibes, and Brittany's response was to love the comment, and then when someone else commented and said that wasn't a compliment, she replied, daddy's home, and then eventually just replied, make America great again, the MAGA. Genuinely, what do you think you're achieving by that? One person did somewhat agree with Brittany and said, ooh, girl, the mom shamers eat you alive over this. I've been told I'm lazy and a waste of space on the earth over grown mean girls. As a fellow Irish twin mom, I get it. And Brittany's response was, I'm very shocked, honestly. LOL, thanks for the support. I wish I could be lazy. I can't sit down and relax for nothing. You know, obviously trying to bring in the point that she's not lazy. She works hard for her kids. She just doesn't want to return the cart. Hopefully, with the other commenter, I feel like there had to be something else going on for them to say you're lazy than just not returning the cart. Because I'm not going that far and I'm saying that. I don't think you're lazy. I just think it's a little inconsiderate. And I also think at this point in life, most big grocery stores and everything have pickup or delivery options. So if it's genuinely that much of a struggle for you to take your children out, there are other options you can try. Now, obviously, as I said, I don't think this is the hugest deal. It definitely is just a little bit entitled. Obviously, if there's a genuine emergency or issue and you can't return your cart to the cart corral, I'm not saying you're a horrible person, but if you're within a range to return the cart to the stall, just return it to the stall. So this next case of entitlement also deals with parenthood, but in a slightly different degree. And it's not so much about the video itself, but the issue that the video is about. So I actually saw this one on Facebook Reels. It popped up in my Reels. It showed a toddler standing in a diaper with the diaper sagging extremely, and the text on screen read, when your husband watches your kids for the first time ever so you can shower for the first time in 5 weeks and he doesn't change diapers. Then the caption said, the diaper almost took her down, but at least I smell good, with a bunch of hashtags about family, where it's clear the poster thinks this is supposed to be funny and relatable. Now, I will admit with this one, I made a mistake. I saw the reel and, I saved it, prepared to make my case on the entitlement about it. And then I went back to research the account further and see what else was being posted on the page. And I did come to the conclusion that the page is meant to be satirical, which is something I didn't even notice by watching the initial video, because parents really are like this in real life. So I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, yeah, that's horrible. And so please don't bash me in the comments and call me an idiot because I didn't pick up on the fact that it's satirical. I did, but I'm still going to comment on it because it is a very real issue that happens, and there are a lot of men who just refuse to do basic aspects of parenting like this. Although the video did make me wonder, because even if it is satirical, the child still had a very full diaper in the video, so did they just put her in a saggy diaper for the sake of content? Or did they wait till the diaper was full to make the content? Like, either way, the child was shown in the video in a saggy diaper. So I'm just like, what? Honestly, the content kind of gives me Matt and Abby vibes. The man who was irritated with his wife because she didn't give him a separate Father's Day and birthday celebration after recently giving birth to a child. So anyways, I beg your finest pardon, his first time watching the kids. I saw from the hashtags there's 4 kids, so that's his first time watching the kids, and it's for what, like 15 minutes so she can shower. Also on the account there was a video of the mom where she was doing some decorating while the dad watches ESPN. And even another where there was a joke about switching out the baby girl for a baby boy so that dad might like it. Because how could you ever expect a father to love a girl? They can only love a man because they can raise him to be big and strong. Naturally, the video of the child in the diaper warranted a lot of backlash. A lot of comments saying that they should divorce and calling out the husband for being a crappy father. One said, "Dads don't watch kids, they parent. If you aren't willing to do everything parenting entails, including changing diapers so your kid doesn't get a fucking rash, you aren't a father." This applies vice versa as well. And, well, yeah. A lot of people were also obviously upset about the diaper situation and the fullness of the diaper, saying obviously that doesn't happen in the time it takes for someone to shower. And one said, this comment made me laugh, not because of what they're trying to say, but just because of the wording and everything. "Oh my effing G's. As if her content was bad enough, change her. She can not get rashes and UTIs. Don't matter if it's a joke saying you haven't showered. Yeah, right. Please seek mental health. You are not okay." And another said, "Yeah, this is rage bait. First of all, the first time in 5 weeks, put that baby in the shower with you if it truly comes to that. And second of all, why record the baby instead of changing their diaper? Not to mention, if you're truly married to a man that is treating you this way, what's going to make you leave? If it's not child neglect, then I don't know, girl, you're really weird for posting this, if I'm going to be honest." And I couldn't agree more. If you really can't take a shower because your husband refuses to watch the children, his children, that he helped create for that short period of time, there's definitely some trouble in paradise. One reason why I'm still talking about this, even if it is just satire, is because there was a real comment from an actual person, not joking, in the comment, and it said, "It's pathetic. My husband comes and gets me to change poopy diapers, and no matter how many times I tell him it's not that serious, he won't do it. But then don't worry," she stepped up and said, "He's actually a great father and husband before you all come crying telling me to divorce him over it. No one is perfect, and this is just one of his quirks. He helps me with everything else, but it is annoying." And I guess as long as you're happy, girl, at least he helps you with something. But I don't think refusing to do a basic and required part of parenting is a little quirk. Also, please explain to me how men portray themselves as tough and not afraid of anything and strong, but then they draw the line at changing a shitty diaper. So moral of the story, I wish men would stop being entitled and acting like they don't have to take parental roles when they become a parent and acting like they're too good to change dirty diapers. And stop acting like being responsible for their own child is too much for them. Moving on to the last topic, which strays very far away from the parenting aspect, but it's something I wanted to talk about, and that is Chappell Roan. And before people dive in the comments and be like, "Oh my god, I know Chappell's so entitled with her fans," that's not what I'm talking about. In fact, the thing I'm talking about is Chappell's fans, or I guess now they're kind of her haters. And a lot of celebrity fans in general, honestly, but I see it a lot more with Chappell because she has actually put forth boundaries with her fans. So a while back, Chappell went through some controversy that shouldn't have even been controversy because she was speaking up online about the discomfort she felt when people would just, demand photos of her, come up to her in public, or even go as far as to try and find out where her family lives, or just, being weird and stalkerish about it. And she made a video where she described how weird it was, and she's like, "Don't you think this would be weird, if people just did this?"
I need you to answer questions. Just answer my questions for a second. If you saw a random woman on the street, would you yell at her from the car window? Would you harass her in public? Would you go up to a random lady and say, "Can I get a photo with you?" And she's like, "No, what the fuck?" And then you get mad at this random lady? Would you be offended if she says no to your time because she has her own time? Would you stalk her family? Would you follow her around? Would you try to dissect her life and bully her online? This is a lady you don't know. And she doesn't know you at all. Would you assume that she's a good person? Assume she's a bad person? Would you assume everything you read about her online is true? I'm a random bitch. You're a random bitch. Just think about that for a second, okay?
And a lot of people were very, very pressed about it. And they took it and twisted it into Chapel hates her fans, Chapel won't take pictures with fans, when that wasn't the point of the video at all. The point of the video was people were being weird and creepy about it, and Chapel is still a person. And she even stepped forward and then said she doesn't care if it's normalized for celebrities to be treated like this, it shouldn't be, and I agree. A lot of celebrities have just become accustomed to this and accustomed to people, you know, bombarding them, wanting pictures and stuff in public, people following them wherever they go, sneaking pictures of them wherever they go, demanding things of them. It has been normalized, but that doesn't mean it should be. And I feel like a lot of celebrities, like diva moments, are probably caused from a lack of privacy and boundaries being set. Not all of them, of course, but I can't imagine how like overstimulating it could be to just constantly be being approached by people and being seen by people. And Chapel didn't even start being really huge until like last year, I feel like. So I can't even imagine going from this smaller scale artist who, you know, gets some recognition and hype, but, you know, is not constantly being recognized out in public, to being literally one of the like biggest pop stars there is and constantly being recognized and talked about and seen. I can't even imagine how overwhelming that would be. But this is an issue that I didn't talk about when it was first happening because I knew it was such a big issue. People were gonna still just be like, oh, I hate Chapel though, I hate Chapel though, and try and justify the hatred. And it just wasn't something I wanted to talk about at the time. I figured if people were really fans of Chapel, they'd stay fans. If it weeded out some of the haters, then it did. But now it's becoming an issue again. Because lately, Chapel released a new song called The Giver, which was first performed on SNL in November of 2024. And there is still an unreleased song called Subway that Chapel has performed several times, but obviously has not released. And people weren't very pleased with the fact that Chapel still hasn't released Subway and chose to release The Giver instead. I'll admit, Subway's a great song. I definitely want to hear it someday. I would hope it'd be on her next album or be released as a single or something down the line. But I love The Giver too, and ultimately it is Chapel's career. It's her choice what she puts out and what she wants to represent her image. So she has a right to never release Subway if she doesn't want to. The way people are like whining and throwing a fit about it is so entitled. A lot of people are bashing The Giver now, saying she should have released Subway instead. Subway would have been better. Or just complaining because they didn't get the exact song that they wanted. Despite the fact that people were crazy about The Giver when they first heard it on Subway and wanted her to release it, and then she releases it and people are just mad that she didn't release Subway. I can't imagine working hard and writing something and finally releasing it just for people to say that, oh, you should have released something else instead. This has also brought back the topic of people taking pictures with Chapel, as people have been posting videos where they're either holding a camera or just saying, Chapel, release Subway, or I'll take a picture with you. And obviously it's meant to be like a joke, a little funny haha, but I don't think it's funny to joke about the one thing that Chapel has talked about bothering her the most in being a celebrity. Don't get me wrong, I get what the joke is supposed to be. I just don't think it's all that funny. People are literally just mocking her struggles with her still newfound fame and just being mad over the fact that they haven't gotten exactly what they want. There was also a group of girls who were like posing by one of the Giver posters that was put up somewhere, and they met Chapel and took a picture with her, and obviously the comments were filled with, oh my god, you got a picture with Chapel? She must have hated this. She must have hated y'all. How'd you convince her to do this? And it's so annoying. Chapel never said she wouldn't take photos with fans. She just said she doesn't want to be bombarded and forced to take pictures with fans. So obviously, like when she's at events or like marketing her own music and stuff, obviously, yeah, she'll talk to fans and take pictures with fans. And also being respectful helps a lot. There's a huge difference between being like, oh, hi, Chapel, I'm a huge fan. Would you, like, can I take a picture with you? And being like, Chapel, take a picture with me, take a picture with me. Or screaming at her from across the street, or trying to find where she lives, or doing things of that nature. She never said she hated her fans. In fact, she posts on her Instagram all the time about being grateful for her fans. She just doesn't want to be treated like she's not a person. I honestly love the fact that Chapel Roan has brought back the ideologies of just humanizing celebrities and respecting them as people, which they are. We also only know celebrities as much as they want us to know them. A lot of celebrities, we don't even know their real names, or they don't use their real names. Even Chapel Roan doesn't use her real name. You know, we know as much as they want us to know. we know what they put out for us, we know what they want us to see, but you still are not going to know them on that personal level. And people need to stop acting like they do and that they deserve everything from celebrities, because at the end of the day, they're people. So that is all for this case of the Entitled Asshole Report. As always, you can let me know your opinions on these situations, but yeah, I'll see y'all in my next video. Peace out.